So the first quadrant in the feasibility investigation framework is market feasibility. And by market, in business terms, we're talking about the potential audience for your product or for your service, the people, the organizations who potentially would buy your product or your service or would in some way spend money with you. So the questions in this quadrant of the framework are thinking about your market. One of the first questions that you need to think about is there an identified consumer need or desire for the product? It's amazing how many products come out of somebody having an idea which they think is a really great idea, but actually nobody wants. So that can be a problem in terms of investing time and effort and money into design and tooling up and producing whatever this is, and then finding that nobody will pay for it. So in most cases, not in all cases, but in most cases when you're dealing with new products or services, you should be led by a consumer need or a consumer desire, and that obviously means going out and finding out from consumers whether they have a need or a desire for the product. Yes, there will be a very small number of products which are brought to market which are just revolutionary. We didn't know that we wanted them until we saw them and had them in our hand. I suppose an example might be the iPad when it first came out. Apple's vision was to give us all a tiny, slim, portable computer which we could hold in one hand, and until most people actually had one in their hand, they didn't realize how powerful that was. But that's a very, very small percentage of the products and services that are generally thought about. What features and benefits would this product provide? So when we're thinking about the market, when we're thinking about our potential audience of purchasers, what would they be looking for in this product? And if you think about products that you use today, maybe your mobile phone. So what would you be looking for in your next mobile phone that perhaps isn't there now? Do you want faster internet access? Do you want a better camera? Do you want better call quality? Do you want voice over IP? Do you want the ability to read on your camera? So maybe you buy a bigger camera with a bigger screen. So features and benefits that the product actually will provide. And again, this goes into the mix then later on in terms of design. Obviously, what would consumers be willing to pay for the product? Because you have to be able to not only create the product, but then sell the product or service at a price point that people will be willing to pay for that. And that kind of leads into total sales and revenues. So how much can we make from doing this? How much will it cost us to actually put the project together and to actually produce this in scalable numbers, get it out into the marketplace, set up a supply chain, but then how much could we make at the end of it? Now we look at the other side of the market feasibility quadrant, and that's the risks around the market. So the first question might be, what would be the risk of consumer disinterest in the product? What if everybody else isn't excited about this product as we are? So again, that's typically addressed by going out and polling, doing focus groups, putting early versions of the product into people's hands or allowing them to experience the service and then asking them, what do you like about this? What don't you like about this? And that also feeds into the second point there, risks of consumer confusion about the product's functions and benefits. So is the product easy to use? Is it intuitive? As consumers, we are demanding, and most consumers want whatever they're being asked to use to work, to just work. and they don't want to have to read great long manuals. They don't want to have to go on a training course in order to be able to get the most out of their product or their service. They want it to just work and it to be obvious how it works. So have we got that nailed in our design and in our product? And very, very importantly, when we're looking at market, when we're looking at the overall context of our product or our service, what about superior competitor products? Another very famous framework is Michael Porter's 5 Forces framework, when we're looking at business situations. And this idea of competition, other people in the space that we're in. So if we're building a new phone, then what about the phones from Apple? What about the phones from Samsung? What about the phones from all the other competitors? Are they better than the one that we are proposing to launch to the market? Because if they are better, then why should people buy ours? So our product or our service has to bring to market something new, whether that's something better in terms of a feature set or an ability, whether it's something better in terms of it looks better or it's priced at a lower price point. These can all be superior differentiators, but there has to be clear superior differentiation for your product or your service to gain market traction and sell in large quantities.